At this time, I would like to invite Iditarod CEO Rob Urbach to share some new and exciting updates as we look at the past, the present, and the future of Iditarod. Please welcome Rob Urbach.
Almost 100 years ago, some very brave souls harnessed the collective power of the sled dog to deliver the life-saving serum to save the lives of Nome. And 50 years ago, Joe Reddington Sr., Dorothy Page, and others conceived of this event to honor and preserve the culture of mushing. Little did they know what was to come. Now, 23 years ago, I flew to Alaska for the first time from the East Coast. Now, when I'm on a plane, normally I want to give a signal that, hey, I'm going to read, I'm going to sleep, I may not want to mingle, but my seatmate had none of that. She was so excited to come to Alaska to be an Iditarider. This was in 1999, and she was telling me all about the Iditarod, and I was mesmerized. There's so many aspects of this event that really resonated with me. She was going to ride with the 1983 winner, Rick Mackey, the son of the 1978 winner, Dick Mackey, and the brother of legendary four-time winner, Lance Mackey. Again, I just kept asking more and more questions about what is this, 1,000 miles, and it's these sled dogs and self-reliance, and what do you mean, it's off-the-road system and storms and wind. It's really an amazing, amazing event. I wanted to learn more and more about that event, and I'm fortunate enough to be learning every day now. But this was 1999, and my seatmate was soap opera star Susan Lucci. And at the time, Susan, Erica on All My Children, was actually pretty infamous for being nominated for 18 straight years to win an Emmy and losing every year. But that year, 1999, she actually won the Emmy and played Erica for 41 straight years. It's a pretty good record. But in my view, it pales in comparison to what I think is the best record in all of sports. The greatest record in all of sports belongs to Martin Buser. Martin Buser has 36 consecutive Iditarod finishes. Think about that. 36,000 mushing miles through the tundra, and not once a scratch. And there were years and years where he had some insurmountable challenges, including the year, if you could recall, where he cut half his finger off right before the race. But Martin, 36 straight years, overcame every unique challenge for that race. Now, I've been fortunate to have an insider's perspective on the sports world for my whole career, working with such athletes as Michael Jordan, Jerry Rice, Michael Phelps, David Beckham, Andre Agassi, and numerous others. Also been fortunate to have been to almost every major sporting event in the world. The World Series, World Cups, Wimbledon, the Olympics, and more. And I've been in the celebratory locker rooms, and it is amazing. But there's something about the Iditarod that's even more unique. In a magical way. When you've been around the mushers in Nome or Finnish, or hear them talk about their journeys, it is hearing really a spiritual transformation like no other journey. You can see it in their eyes and feel the magic radiate from their core. They are truly tenacious adventure athletes, part Magellan, part meteorologist, strategists, sleep deprivation ninjas, dog whisperers, and the women and men of the Iditarod are through and through some bad hombres. So in a world that is increasingly disconnected from nature, heritage, physicality, and even one another, the Iditarod provides an anecdote. It's not technology, analytics, or big data that gets one to the finish line. It's athletic grit, dogged determination, and the support teams of family members, friends, and fans. Moreover, it takes literally a village of support from the dozens and dozens of villages along the trail. So I want to thank all the volunteers in advance who ensure that our complicated supply chain, checkpoints, and canine continuum of care are properly deployed and fortified. The Iditarod Air Force, arguably the best assembly of 30-strong bush pilots who fly over 700 sorties every year, brave the elements, landing on ice, snow, and rugged terrain from dawn to dusk. Our 55 veterinarians have collectively traveled thousands of miles to volunteer their time and talent to ensure exemplary care for our incredible four-legged athletes. I'm also fortunate to have a very dedicated and experienced leadership team who are all extremely passionate about organizing, deploying, and managing alongside me through all these challenges. I also want to recognize and thank the Iditarod Board of Directors, led by President Mike Mills, Vice President Karen King, Secretary Mike John Rowe, Treasurer Ryan York, John Hanlon, who's also serves as the city for the mayor of Nome, Gail Schubert, who's CEO of Bering Straits, Danny Siebert and Clint Johnson, both leaders in our aviation community, Andy Aikesman, who represents the Iditarod Finishers, Stan Fu, who's provided me with several strategic counsel and advice, Nina Kempel, who runs the ACF Foundation, and Mike Owens of Nome. They are very competent, caring, and committed to not only honoring mushers' cultural importance, but also future-proofing the Iditarod for future generations. So on behalf of the entire Iditarod community, I want to thank all you for your expertise, passion, and contributions. I also want to thank our dedicated sponsorship family. Without your support and commitment, there is no Iditarod. So Iditarod Nation, please stay loyal to our sponsors, purchase and support, or tell others about our sponsorship family's products and services, because when you do so, you're supporting the Iditarod. So, while we are gathered here on Iditarod Eve, we will be honoring a culture that has been essential to Arctic survival for over 1,000 years. It's more than a race. It's a way of life for Arctic peoples to maintain a sense of identity and connection with their heritage that risk erosion. And since our mission is to preserve this culture and the power and passion of the Iditarod, we are launching several new initiatives to generate relevance, drive broader support, and become known as a thought leader in animal welfare. These initiatives include DOGS, D-O-G-Z. So I know many of you are currently insider subscribers. We are rolling out after this race the first 24-hour live stream channel for all dog owners. You know, it's a problem to find really good quality information. Where do you go if your dog eats grass? Grain or no grain? You know, how do I fly my dog? Well, the Iditarod has years and years of expertise that we're repurposing for the general audience. We're creating shows around dog whisperers and rescue dogs, agility dogs, awesome dogs doing awesome things, and of course, puppies. We are going to be Netflix for all things dogs. As part of this, we recently purchased another business. This is called Doc Dogs. Doc Dogs runs 200 events in the lower 48. It is really fun entertainment. You see dogs jumping off docks, catching balls, frisbees, getting big air. Really amazing athletes. It's great content for our channel and gives us another universe of additional dog people to be subscribers to dogs, and for also that we can educate on the Iditarod for future generations. Our third key initiative is what we call the Iditasphere. So the Iditasphere has a couple different components. We will be soon launching next week our own crypto token coin called the Iditarod. There will be a pre-sale that will be available to everybody in this room, to Iditarod Nation. We'll be launching next week before the public sale. So the crypto coin will have various utilities. You'll be able to buy merchandise. You'll be able to buy dog subscriptions. There's also a percentage of the revenue generated from this that will go back towards 3 areas in the community. One is the mushers. 2 are the villages along the checkpoints. And the 3rd, we have an independent panel of veterinarians that will present proposals to owners of the Iditarod to vote, there's a governance function, on where to direct funds for research for dogs. So we're really excited to make a true contribution and tangible benefit to the lifespan of dogs worldwide. The second part of that is on March 15th, we'll be launching our first non-fungible token, NFT. So for those of you that are new to the blockchain, you'll find more information on iditacoin.net or iditarod.com. So stay tuned for more shortly and over the next few days. But in the meantime, we're here tonight to look back and celebrate the last 50 years and hear a special preview of this year's race. But our intent for these initiatives are to future-proof the Iditarod so that some of you in this room will be here in 50 years at our 100th race gala in 2072. Thank you. But before that, we want to take a look back, and I want to introduce the voice, the passion, the soul of your insider coverage. Since 1992, Greg Heister has been covering the Iditarod. That's 30 straight years. And I think every year he gets more and more passionate. He's on the trail. He is tireless. His crew commands 2 planes, several snow machines, several drone pilots. Every year we try to make our insider coverage better. This year we'll have much more speed on our uplinks thanks to GCI. We're going to have nightly highlights every single day. And Greg does an extraordinary job for what we do. It's not easy broadcasting our race 24/7 from the middle of Alaska. And so Greg gets better every year and is super motivated to bring you to the race again this year. Greg has worked over the last several months on a retrospective video of the last 49 years. And I'm going to bring Greg on stage to introduce the video. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Hey, it's Iditarod 50. Iditarod 50, which honestly means one thing to me. Joe Reddington's dream is still alive and it's well. How about some noise? We want Joe Reddington Sr. to hear us right now. Remember, that's why we're here, right? To save the sled dog. That's why the Iditarod was started all those many years ago, and the mission still continues today. And in 2006, I became part of the Iditarod Insider, and it's been the mission of that to kind of extend the marketing wing of Iditarod. And the mission is to help Joe's mission, to ensure that for generations to come, the sled dog continues to run to that coastal town called Nome. And with your help, that has certainly happened. I just want to, how many people in here are insiders? Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I just want to take a quick moment to tell you that if you're not, it's important that you support the race in this way, because this is a financial foundation that the antis can never touch. They can never get to it. It's time for the community and all those that love the dream the lifestyle and the mission to unite. And the best way to do that is by becoming an Iditarod insider. And my pledge to you is that there's about 15 of us ready to go out on that trail and bring you the story of Iditarod 50 like you can't get it anywhere else. There are many places today that you can get information about the Iditarod. They all do a fantastic job, and we welcome it. There's only one place that your money can go to help support the mission. The mission is Joe Reddington's dream. The dream is about ensuring that these sled dogs continue to run from Anchorage to Nome. So we appreciate those who have supported. We appreciate those who are going to support. And when you go home tonight, call a friend, call a neighbor, call a family member, and say, look, more than ever before, we need your support. The sled dogs need your support. And I vow to you that we will continue to go out on that trail and bring you live streams, interviews, information, analysis, everything that you need to know about the Iditarod. I've put together a small, short video here. It's hard to slam 50 years into 10 minutes, but this is my best effort. My team, we're over at the Lakefront Hotel tonight. We are prepping to get out on that trail. We can't wait to get there. I appreciate your time, and remember, it's about the dream. Enjoy the video, and we'll see everyone out on the trail.
Ladies and gentlemen, while you watch this special video, dinner is served.
The year was 1973. The U.S. troops leave Vietnam. Marvin Gaye's smash hit, Let's Get It On, was the Billboard Song of the Year. And Richard Nixon authorizes the construction of the Alaska pipeline 50 years ago. But making few headlines, the culmination of a dream and losing bet would put 34 dog teams at Tudor Track in Anchorage to begin what many thought would be a 1,000-mile direct route into the heart of an unforgettable disaster.
The atmosphere at the starting line was, if anybody can make it, I can make it. And that was everyone's attitude, you know. But you're right, we didn't know if we could.
I'm going to go. He said, I'm going to go on in that race. I knew nothing else about it. It's just that it was going to happen. If it was going to happen, I was going to be there.
But it was some devil take the hindmost, wild, every man for himself, pick your own route across the wilds of Alaska. It was exactly what I had come north to find.
I looked at the race through the eyes of P.T. Barnum. He would have loved it. It's a circus. It's a big circus. It's a circus that has all the elements. It's been the greatest show on earth.
Joe Reddington and his pit crew worked and smoothed and bedazzled their way to this impossible venture. 1,000 miles across the Alaska wilderness, sidestepping all of the challengers, a spirit that would give birth to a lifestyle, a legacy, and a tradition that all these years later remains. Fascination or allure would be the drug for the brave souls who first signed up. And don't forget the purse that was promised but was unfulfilled when Dick Wilmarth, bib number 33, left for Nome and the great unknown.
My good friend George Atlas said, well, you know, you can run a dog team 100 miles a day, and so we should be in Nome in 10 days. Wilmarth got there in 20 days, you know, and won the race. Because I like to say that we all were winners that year, and he just got first prize, that's all.
It was a pretty girl. She was Miss Nome. She came over and she was going to kiss me. I didn't kiss her. I figured I smelled too bad.
George Atlas said in Nome while we were waiting around, he called it the Great Camping Trip. And that's pretty much what it was, I think, first race.
I was gone 45 days from the time I left home till I finally got back. And of course I left her with our 10 children. That almost cost me everything.
Who would have known this one-year race would become an institution? a symbol of a state known as the last frontier. And internationally known, a ghost town, the namesake of a dream, and gold of a certain kind that would flow down the Yukon. Who would have known? Volunteers migrated, ready to forge, pilots eager to fly, communities a warm invite, and a town, a cold, brutal town with a wind that rattled and burned, a finish line marked by Kool-Aid, and an arch hovering over a dream. A dream to race, a dream to unite, a dream to protect one of Alaska's greatest gifts, the sled dog. Joe Redington piloted the dream. He last ran his race in 1997 at the ripe old age of 80 years old. He finished his race 15 times. The first native Alaskan champion, Carl Huntington, and others like the Yukon Fox, Jerry Riley, the Inupiaq, John Baker, and the Kid, Pete Kaiser. Dick Mackey and a 1-second margin. His kiss with immortality by a dog's nose, a legend of the game. Libby Riddles became the first woman to win the race in 1985, went headfirst into a devastating storm to find the finish line first. Susan Butcher, the sergeant, but man did she take this to another level, focusing the eyes of the world on this event, proving that the dog's wellness was the key to victory. Rick Swenson, the first to 5, a survivalist and a driver who seemed to fit on the runners like a giant redwood, rigid and unrelenting. A Joe named May. Rick Mackey, a fisherman named Osmar, and Old Joe, a trapper from the Yukon. The era of speed, Boozer, King, and Swingley, 10 consecutive years, and 6 speed records, set a bevy of 4-time winners. Norway is in the house. Robert Sorley won 2 of 3, and Yor and Thomas have made 3 from across the pond. A Seavey who followed his father down the trail has gotten there first 3 times. No hitch in Mitch's giddy-up. Lance Mackey, the incomparable Lance Mackey, 4 in a row, survived cancer, survived life. And Dallas Seavey, the phenom, an era that was looming and predictable, and he may put his name at the very top. And then there are the names with no voice, but man, did they have influence. Like Nugget, Red and Bullet, Granite and Furlan and Andy, Blondie and Fearless, Elmer and Pepe, Salem and Larry, Snickers and Velvet and Reef. It's a history striped with names. Redington, Mackey, Seavey, Boozer, King, Butcher, Swenson, John Rowe. Immortality, a spot in history. But hundreds, thousands of names, like Larry Thompson, the first pilot of the Iditarod, Terry Atkins, the first veterinarian, Joe and Norma Delia. Headliners, but a list of names that would take 50 years to read. All who volunteered, all who gave and continue to give to a race and a dream. volunteers from all walks of life in every corner of the globe to give to that dream. And 50 years later, it's alive and it's well. This dream.
Old Man Reddington had a dream, and people wanted to see it happen, you know, and that's why we're here today.
The greatest thing that the Iditarod ever accomplished was saving sled dogs. Sled dogs were the mode of transportation for hundreds of years in Alaska. And I think the Iditarod saved. I think that's the most important thing that the Iditarod has done.
Before my dad died, Colonel Vaughn come out and was talking to him. He said, "Now, Joe, when you get to heaven now, it ain't gonna be long and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna need some dogs. And so try to find me a good dog team time I get there."
People mush dogs all over the state. Why can't we go to Nome? It's that simple. There's a lot of us who, you know, Joe was older than most of us. And a lot of us, yeah, we can do this. And by gum, we did.
I hope I'm as popular as Joe Reddington Sr. was when I leave this earth. That guy was an incredible person that's done an incredible amount of good for this state. And here we are today in memory of him racing the Iditarod.
But I think all of us owe a lot to old Joe Reddington.
A round of applause for the Insider team and their salute to Iditarod 50. What a way to look back and honor the first 50 years of this iconic and historic race. I was just thinking 50 years from now, I'll be 115. Now, we'd like to pay tribute to a legendary musher. Susan Howlett Butcher was an American dog musher, noteworthy as the second woman to win the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race in 1986, the second four-time winner in 1990, and the first to win 4 out of 5 sequential years. She focused the attention of the world on sled dogs like nobody else in history, and while she left us too early, in 2006, she left behind a legacy that has few rivals. Tonight, we recognize her daughter, Tekla Butcher Monson, who is in the audience this evening. Tekla, thank you for being here tonight, and we welcome you to the stage to share a little bit more about your mother.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tekla Butcher Monson. I am the eldest of 2 daughters that my mom left behind here on this earth, and I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. I love the Iditarod, obviously. I grew up hearing about it, hearing the fax papers dripping onto the floor in the kitchen as we were getting updates hourly from the race. I had my first experience out on the trail when I was 11 years old. Obviously, my mom did a lot for this race and for the state of Alaska and for women mushing in this state. And we wanted to honor that legacy the year after she passed away from leukemia. So at the age of 11, I donned the #1 bib and mushed through the streets of Anchorage as a ceremonial musher representing my mom that year. And my dad wanted to go a little bit farther, and so we actually did a memorial run, 700 miles on the Iditarod Trail, and I, at age 11, had my own team of 8 dogs, and I mushed that whole way. That was such a phenomenal trip, you know. I had heard about all these places. I had heard about Old Woman. I'd heard about Unalakleet. I had heard about every single checkpoint. And I knew these stories that my mom had told, these really tough stories about how hard the trail was, but how good it was to get there and get a bed to sleep on. Maybe not a bed, but get some floor to sleep on. And a place to bed her dogs down at. But it wasn't until I was actually out there that I saw really just how special it was. And I'm going to tell a little story from the first night we were out there. We were camping. And it was 60 below, which perhaps I had experienced, but I didn't know I had ever experienced it. And I'm laying in my sled bag because we decided to camp outside of the checkpoint. And I'm laying there freezing. I've got my ruff pulled up so I look like a little sea urchin, and my dad's just feeding me fish strips into my little sea urchin thing. And I'm feeling so pathetic. It's only our first night out on the trail, and I've heard these stories about my parents, you know, being out in the conditions, being fine, hitting the trail the next day. But actually being out there in 60 below is kind of hard. And at 11 years old, I look up through my little sea urchin ruff at my dad, and I say, Dad, I'm so sorry, I'm such a failure, but I'm cold. And my dad looks down at me and he's like, Tekla, do not worry about it. Your mom and I were always cold. This is frickin' hard. And that was a really good reminder, because when we got up the next day and we made it to the next village, I had this awesome feeling of pride. And 12 days later, when we pulled into Nome, that was one of the best feelings ever. And I'm so excited to be starting my own racing career, and of course, to be sharing that pride with all of you, whether you're a donor who helped somebody buy some booties, or you're somebody watching the spot tracker, or you're a musher finishing the race. There's that amazing feeling of collective pride, and I'm so happy to share that with all of you guys tonight. And that was something that I think my mom really brought to the race. So I hope you will enjoy this tribute to my mother, Susan Butcher.
Susan first started running. Then it was much more of a, I think, a macho sport, and that's why she wasn't accepted a lot, is because she cared for her dog so meticulously, and it was looked on somewhat as a sign of weakness. And they said, Susan will never win the race because she babies her dogs. And then, of course, when she started winning, they said, well, it's no wonder Susan wins. She takes the best care of her dogs. And I honestly believe that was somewhat of a tipping point in the recognition that these are professional athletes and you have to take care of them, not only physically training, but nutritionally and veterinary care all year long.
What can we never forget about Susan Butcher?
Oh, just the tenacity and the brilliance, and her desire to win the race was pretty remarkable to me. I mean, she really wanted to win against men. And, at that point in time, women, the Dee Dee Johnroe and Libby Riddles and Susan, they weren't given the total respect that they should have been. And so it was fun for her just to kick some butt for a little bit, 4 years. And now look at it, how many young women are really good mushers and have the opportunity that Susan Butcher presented to the world.
She was my mentor. Once she saw I was serious, took her a year or two to realize that, I wasn't just trying to do it for a fling, but I was really into it. She really encouraged me and helped me. And then, there were years that I ran some of her young dogs. There's a lot I had to learn. And Susan and David both really helped me with that. But this was before they were married, before they knew each other. When we bonded over things that happened on the trail and experiences off the trail and life experiences, we became friends, but we were still vicious competitors in that Susan was anxious to encourage me, but not teach me how to beat her. And I gotta say, my goal was I'd like to beat her before she retires.
It was a big transition also, I think, for the men to recognize that women compete on an equal footing, because you're not the athlete yourself, really. You're the coach, you're the manager, you're the physical therapist, you're the trainer. And by taking the responsibilities on the part of the person, it could be a man or a woman that can do it.
The National Geographic window, happened to do Susan, not only being a woman, not only being a good dog person, the drive, the determination. It happened to combine all that with exposure and public recognition. That was awesome for the sport. I mean, she was awesome for the sport, but more so than just being good with her dogs and having competitive teams, it was also great for the Iditarod, because it opened that window of the proverbial, Iditarod where men are men and women win the Iditarod t-shirts. A few years of female dominance. We all know Iditarod is gender neutral. The dogs don't care whether you're a guy or a girl or whatever, and they just happy to be with you. But I think the general public kind of looked at that incredibly challenging adventure with more open eyes because it was a couple of women doing really good in those 80s years.
And very proud of Libby's accomplishment there. You know, it broke Susan's heart, you know, because she was in that race and a moose stomped her team and took her out of that race. And then she came off a whirlwind, you know, 1986, 1987, 1988. I think Runyon beat her in 89, 1990, and she was a terror. It was good for the sport. It was good for the world too. It was good for women's sports all over to have Susan Butcher step up like that.
What we did early on is we started flying straw out to the checkpoints on our own money. And I know people didn't like that at first because they went, oh, you know, she's just babying again. But in reality, what they saw later is look at how well rested they are when they pop off the snow or pop off the straw. And I think after that, it was shortly after that that the Iditarod started supplying straw itself. Now, when you have dogs resting well, when you have the use of booties, when you have a great diet, the key to this race is run, rest, recover. And if you can do that, you can keep your speed up, and by doing that, you can give them more time to rest. And of course, that's what they need between each run.
The Gates family, you know, they had come up and Susan had put them in this wall tent or little cabin to be 40, 50 below, and they stay like 10 days, 2 weeks. It was no frills, you know. It was just the roughest life. And Melinda Gates, they're separated or divorced now, whatever. She told me up at Susan's funeral that it changed her life. And but they had a very broad experience. George Lucas, you know, with all his movies, and it's just amazing the people that they came to know, and people came to respect them.
Well, we need to remember the girl was focused. I mean, the nickname Sergeant Susan wasn't just like, you know, without purpose. I mean, that lady was totally 100% focused. And when she was in the zone, she would bark commands. She was the epitome of organization. I remember going to visit her kennel in the off season, and all her equipment was filed and labeled and in clear boxes, and you know, and I thought, oh boy, I gotta get my act together. And she knew dogs. I mean, that's one thing is Susan could look at a dog and she could say, that's this bloodline, that's that bloodline. And she was up early and she was at it and she was focused, and the whole kennel was focused. Her breeding program was, her feeding program was, anything she learned. She never thought she knew it all, although I have to say there was one time when somebody said something to her about, you just run the same schedule, like up the coast or something. And she goes, till you beat me, why should I change? And I remember that too, you know, thinking, you know, truthfully, why do you mess with perfect?
I think what you've seen today is a result of the transition that happened when Susan first started winning the Iditarod in 1986. It was never about other people, it was always about the dogs. And she first lived in the Wrangell Mountains for about 3 years alone, and it was just her and her dogs out there. And that was probably one of the times she enjoyed the most in her life. And I think when the Iditarod started and she realized that here was a way for me to showcase the care and the ability that my dogs have, she just took what she'd already developed on her own and applied it to her racing in the Iditarod. And I think that really showed in how quickly she ascended from rookie to, you know, top 5 and ultimately winning. And nowadays, I think what she'd be the most proud of is the fact they don't say, oh, a woman run the race. They say the best team was run by. That's all they care about is the dogs.
I think David's done a fabulous job keeping Susan in the forefront. Susan should be there. I mean, she's a 4-time champion, many in a row. Her career is remarkable, and you know, her fight with cancer was remarkable. And her ability to leave two girls behind that carry the legacy, thanks to not only her past, but also to David's, direction. Those are remarkable girls.
At Iditarod, we will always celebrate the life and the legacy of Susan Butcher. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of ways you can give to the Iditarod tonight beyond the auctions. It's as simple as scanning the QR code at your table and making tax deduction donations as you see fit. We want to thank you on behalf of all of us for your generous contributions tonight. We now ask you to please stand as Lee Ryan leads us in our invocation for tonight's event. Lee is the president of Ryan Air, an air carrier based in Unalakleet, Alaska, that has been providing air cargo shipping in rural Alaska since 1953. Please welcome Lee to the stage.
Thank you all for standing. Please bow your head in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, today we stand humbly before you. In a world we don't understand, with injustice, prejudice, war, disease, we're not worthy, broken, divided. We have worldly anxieties, but you remind us that you gave your only Son, and whoever believes in you shall not perish, but have an everlasting life. You give us hope. In Philippians 4, you remind us, don't be anxious about anything. Rather, bring all your requests to God in your prayers, along with giving thanks. Then the peace of God that exceeds all understanding will keep your hearts and minds safe in Christ Jesus. We bring those requests to you in prayer. We pray for peace. Peace in Ukraine. Peace in our country. Peace in our state. In this world. We pray for those who are no longer with us and pray that you'll be with their families. We pray for health and your healing hand. We pray for safety in this race, in the Iditarod. Safety of all those that are here, all the fans, the Iditarod Air Force, the volunteers, the vets, the mushers, the dogs, the communities. We pray for safety and health of those at the front lines of war, the pandemic. We pray for our mental health and the mental health and well-being of those around us. We pray for your wisdom and your guidance of our leaders, not just the leaders of our state country in this world, but the leaders of the Iditarod, those guiding and keeping a helping hand in your direction, in your wisdom. We pray for peace, grace, and your blessing hand. As our mushers prepare to embark on a journey through the valleys, the rolling hills, the mountains, the Burn, the mighty Yukon, Portage, Norton Sound, across the Darbies, through the Blowhole and into Nome. It's vast, it's barren, it's unforgiving. Please guide me. We say that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but we often forget that our beholder is God. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, the heart of man's plans and his ways are man's, but the steps and the direction of those steps is you. And we pray that you direct our steps. You be our direction, enlighten our heart and our soul. And please keep us safe, healthy, and bless this food and those who made it today. For this in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much, Lee. Don't forget, we're here to raise funds to support the Iditarod in its next 50 years. We've got an exciting silent auction that is located over at the Wall of Windows tonight. Take in that glorious view while pursuing or looking at the many Alaska items. Scan the QR code at your table and bid from your phone. The silent auction closes promptly at 8:15. The Iditarod is also running its annual Iditarod Trail Raffle. As many of you know, this event is one of the largest fundraisers for the Iditarod. This raffle features 4 $10,000 grand prizes, 45 separate $1,000 prize winners, and a grand prize of $100,000. You heard that right, what? $100,050 to be exact. And you need not be present to win. Just scan the QR code at your table and purchase your raffle ticket tonight. And please stay tuned for 3 live auction opportunities coming up. Dave Karp, our live auctioneer, is in the house. He's going to bring this crowd to their feet with excitement for all the live auction items we have. We've got truly amazing items this year. A 15-day, 14-night cruise for 2 with Lindblad Expeditions on its ship, the Orion, exploring the best that Alaska has to offer. Just sign me up for that. A 2-night getaway to Borealis Base Camp. This is a premier Northern Lights viewing accommodation based outside of Fairbanks in the Golden Heart of Alaska. And how about this? We've got a luxurious 2-night stay at the Within the Wilds Winter Lake Lodge, which is located on Finger Lake, one of the Iditarod's checkpoints. And for those of you who love the outdoors and want to be cozy, our friends at Airframes Alaska has offered up your very own Arctic oven tent. This tent comes with a propane stove and other awesome accessories to keep you warm in the 49th state. And our final live auction block this evening is a surprise. Let's just say it is a trifecta of this mushing event, and we are so excited. We promise it is worth the wait and something you won't want to miss. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 24 companies that play a very large role in making this event a reality each year and every year. Look to the screen to see who those companies are. They are known as our partners, and frankly, we think of them as our family. Each is vital to this race's success, and we would like to recognize these sponsors, especially this evening. A round of applause for our sponsors, if you will. Thank you so much. We'd like to now introduce another familiar face, well, many familiar faces, if you will. Iditarod's longtime official race photographer, Jeff Schultz, has spent much of his career capturing the many faces of the Iditarod. In 2019, he took that one step further and created the faces of the Iditarod. The project focuses on capturing the diverse family that is the Iditarod, and the collection currently has more than 560 faces, including volunteers, spectators, village residents, mushers, and of course, the canine athletes themselves. While you're having dinner, enjoy this brief video about the project and how Jeff is documenting the many faces, both furry and not so furry, that have made this the last great race on Earth.
The reason I am with Iditarod is because of the mushers and the volunteers. I've worked with mushers and volunteers ever since day one here, and that's what I love.
I'm involved with the race because I live right on the trail, and every year I look forward to it.
I keep coming back because of my love for dogs and knowing that I'm doing my part in keeping the team safe.
They asked us to break the trail to Iditarod one time, and we run clear out of snow, but we kept on going.
I got involved with Iditarod when I was about 5. I was a super duper pooper scooper in my first years.
We haven't missed any Iditarods except for the 3 that started in Fairbanks, and they didn't come through over.
Faces of Iditarod. It is simply a small sampling of the thousands of selfless people involved, one way or the other, in making the last great race like no other event in the world. Volunteers, mushers, spectators, village residents, and of course, the canine athletes comprise our Iditarod family.
I'm here today and involved with the Iditarod because it's an Alaskan institution.
We just enjoy all the activity and seeing everybody.
Well, growing up here, it's just part of our life when Iditarod comes through.
What I know for sure in life is, even though we would like to tell ourselves that we can get through life solo, not with anybody else's help, it's a complete lie. We really need each other.
I got involved with the Iditarod by being born into it.
Iditarod has been an experience of a lifetime.
You're going to be involved in it one way or the other. It's coming through town.
We
to do work, and the work is fun.
A musher's love for their animals and the dog's love of running shines through in the words of the dog's owners and is a complete answer to how well these animals are known and cherished.
So Silverton's personality is extremely driven and focused. That's what makes him unique.
Swenson's personality is about as big as he is.
Double Time loves belly rubs. That's what he lives for.
Shay's personality is basically the one of a princess. She's so classy. She is so sweet.
He's so happy. He's almost too happy for his own good.
Just as soon crawl in your lap and curl up and, get lots of loving as anything.
She wants to be the top female of the kennel. She runs around posturing and showing off to the other ladies, but then flirting with all the boys.
Right before you feed him, his front paws will do this little prancy dance, and he just gets super excited.
We are the faces of Iditarod.
That was amazing. Our thanks to Jeff Schultz, who is in the house tonight, and his amazing team of photographers for such an unforgettable way to pay tribute to those involved in the Iditarod. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to take a brief break to enjoy the rest of our dinner. We want you to scan those QR codes to donate or purchase a winter raffle ticket. And while you're having dinner, you're going to listen to the musical sounds of Alaska's Ken Peltier. Ken will be playing a tribute to the late Hobo Jim over the sound system, Alaska's official state balladeer who passed away last year. We will certainly miss his unforgettable voice. His memory will live on in the songs he wrote about the state we all love. And to join us, a man who loved Hobo Jim, knew him well, please welcome my friend and co-broadcaster, Bob Lester.
I just wanted to say it's an honor to be here. This is the first time I've ever been allowed to enter this wonderful banquet, and I appreciate that very much. 1982 was the first year that Hobo Jim was a part of the Iditarod. 1982. I was a sophomore in high school. A lot of you maybe weren't even born. And this is the first time since 1982 that Hobo Jim isn't here in person to sing his songs. So all I'm asking really quickly is for everyone here just to raise a glass and hold it up high to the sky to a man that had no equal. I love Jim, and I will always love Jim. And Jim is here. And I know what Jim would want us all to do. On the count of three, all he would ask is a big, good old Alaskan howl for Hobo Jim. 1, 2, 3. Ow! Drink up. Here's to you, Hobo.
Good evening, everybody. This is Ken Peltier.
I love you, Jim. I love you, Cindy.
I'm sorry I can't.
So glad
be
you're here.
with you tonight.
Enjoy your dinner,
Also,
everybody.
It's just,
have a great night.
Times we're living in right now, but I thought I'd do the best I can and make you a little video tribute to my dear friend Hobo Jim. The last time I was in that room that you were in was December 21st, which would have been his 69th birthday. And we raised some money for Cindy, my second mama. And I played 2 shows after that I was under contract to do, and then I put my guitar away for a couple months and just got quiet. This guitar I'm holding is actually Jim's guitar that I've been in possession of since last fall, shortly after he passed away. We displayed it at some of the fundraisers that we did. And it's been in the case other than that because it was just hard for me to look at. About a week ago, I called Cindy and asked if it would be okay if I use it for some of these Iditarod shows I have, including this, and then I'm going to cover the running of the reindeer as best I can this year for Jim and go out to Rainy Pass Lodge and play for those good folks and the Iditarod folks that go by there as well. This song I recorded is my favorite song. It speaks to me the most of any song I've ever actually played or recorded. I heard Jim playing it one night in a little bar, and I told him, boy, I sure would love to record that. And he said, boy, have I sure heard that a lot. And I said, well, not only do I want to record it, I want you to be the producer, and he was. So this is Educated Man, everybody. There were a few books on his shelf, Zane Grey and a Bible, nothing else. Never went too far in school, always thought himself a fool. So much he couldn't understand. But give him a torch and some metal rod, he could wield anything in this world, by God. When it came to working with his hands, he was an educated man. He was a master of his trade, could fix anything ever made with his hands. Smarter than most PhDs, could build anything you see with his hands. He was an educated man. Never traveled very far, he'd only leave his farm to pick up parts. The only world he knew was a shop and all his tools, and that work he had to do. But give him a hammer and a box of nails, he could build you a wagon or a ship that sailed. When it came to working his hands, he was an educated man. He was a master of his trade, could fix anything ever made with his hands. Smarter than most PhDs, could build anything you see with his hands. He was an educated man. When he was here, he taught me all he knew, and when he left me all his tools. So here I am with his old guitar in my hand, playing Here Lies an Educated Man. He was a master of his trade, could fix anything ever made with his hands. Smarter than most PhDs, could build anything you see with his hands. He was an educated man. He was an educated man. I think before I'm all done with my music career, I'm gonna do a video of that song because I love it. I want to say hello to Bob, who helped us a tremendous amount on the benefit shows. I believe he's emceeing there for you tonight for your Iditarod gathering for 2022. Also want to say hello to the folks logging in from all over the world. I hope to see you. This next song I heard Jim do one night, and it just really spoke to me because I have so many friends in this state that are extremely talented artists, musicians, actors, climbers, builders, just on and on. And so many of them were either born here or raised here, and a lot of people don't know just how much amazing talent and what good humans we grow here in Alaska. This is called Where Legends Are Born. In the caribou tundra, in the wild barren land, across the fierce Arctic ice where the polar bears stand, the trail of the Eskimo hunter is born. Ah, this is the country where legends are born, where the northern lights glaze across the cold Arctic haze, and the caribou come to a new shaman's drum. In saloons and in dance halls, they talked of the gold. There were stories of fortune, stories of gold. The trail of the weary gold miner is born. Ah, this is the country where legends are born, where they measured a man by the gold in his hand, the speed of his guns, and the dogs he would run. They came here to settle, build a new land. Across the mountains and valleys, the cabins they stand. The trail of the weary homesteader is born. Ah, this is the country where legends are born. These fields you see now were grown by cloud, and our children are grown to build homes of their own. And the caribou tundra in the wild barren land, across the fierce Arctic ice where the polar bears stand, the trail of the Eskimo hunter is born. Ah, this is the country where legends are born. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you out this summer at some shows. Have the best time tonight. Thank you again for your support of Iditarod 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Peltier. Thank you so much, Ken. Before we hear from our first principal partner, I'm now going to invite John Norman with the Iditarod Trails Race Foundation to present the Joe Rennington Founders Award. The Iditarod Trail Race Foundation's mission is to promote sled dog racing over the historic Iditarod Trail, to preserve and maintain the trail system, and to promote the continuance of the Iditarod Trail sled dog race. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. God took Hobo Jim Varsos from us on October 5th, 2021. On that night, some at high latitudes thought the northern lights never looked so bright or dazzling, and it seemed as if they could be welcoming an old friend. Our beloved Hobo Jim was able to understand the emotions, the deep feeling that many of us have for this great race, the Iditarod race, and also for our wonderful great state of Alaska. And he was able to take these feelings that all of us have, these emotions, and he had the capability that the rest of us don't have, to take those and translate them into words, lyrics, and into wonderful music. And that music traveled all over the world and publicized and helped make famous the Iditarod. Tonight, the Iditarod Trail Foundation, which is a sister organization that helps support the Iditarod Trail Committee, is honored to recognize the part that Hobo Jim Varsos played in promoting this great race. And we are going to ask his widow, who is here with us tonight, Cindy, to please come forward, along with two longtime close friends, Keith Manternock and Terry D. Cindy, I'll present you first with the foundation's customary check for $1,049, which is what the foundation does by way of honoring people that have done so much for this race. And then I'd like to ask if you would honor us by saying a few words, if you'd care to. Please.
Thank you. The Iditarod Trail song changed our whole lives back in 1982. And I was reflecting, we were sitting at the Bering Sea Saloon, and all the tension was so high and excited because Rick Swinson and Susan Butcher were neck and neck coming from Safeway on into Nome. And back in the days, that everybody knew when they were coming in and all left wherever they were and lined the streets to welcome these hardworking mushers and their dogs home. And it has been a privilege for Jim and the Iditarod song and how much it changed our lives. And we have made so many strong friends. It was delightful to hear Susan's daughter speak tonight. She was an amazing human being, and we loved her very much. And I just thank you all for supporting the Iditarod Trail and all our hardworking mushers and their dogs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the wonderful contribution and the music that will live on long after we're all gone.
What a poignant tribute to Alaska's unforgettable balladeer. Now, I'd like to welcome our long-standing principal partner, GCI. And if you are from GCI, you know who you are, so please make your way to the stage. GCI has provided a very important role in this race, even before their sponsorship began back in 1994. GCI provides the vital telecom infrastructure that allows us to share with you, the fans, all of the amazing highlights of the last great race on Earth. I believe she's making her way towards the stage. I am pleased to introduce GCI's Vice President of Enterprise Markets. Please welcome Lori Davey. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hello, nice to see you. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's great to see such a beautiful, lively, full audience here tonight. And, you know, I think back on the Iditarod, and I was a little girl in Tok. I was born and raised in Tok, and we were mostly sprint racers out there, and we would watch the Iditarod mushers come through town, the ones that would drive to Alaska, through Canada. They had Canadians and lower 48 ones that would come through, and it was always a special time to come and see the Iditarod. And in Tok, we did the Race of Champions, and our dogs were all sprint racers, so we didn't have the endurance racers, but sometimes we got dogs that came out of the Iditarod racers teams, and we made them into sprint racers. And I remember I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I think I had maybe up to 5 dogs at most ever. And I had one dog that was Duchess, and she was a German Shepherd Husky mix. And she could always tell if I fell off the sled. It was a really tight track there in Tok, and as soon as I fell off, she'd stop and let me get back on. But I know watching those dogs and how much they love to race, and that this is their whole life. So it's always exciting to watch the Iditarod and see the mushers, and growing up in the 80s too, it's our hometown heroes were the women that were racing and winning the Iditarod. When we look back at Libby Riddles, the first one who won the Iditarod in 1985, and then Susan going on 3 years later for the next 3 consecutive years. It was so great to see Tekla here tonight. That's exciting, to have that was your mom, that was your mentor. But she was also our hero growing up. That I don't know how many of you were around, but remember the saying is, Alaska is where men are men, but women win the Iditarod. That's why we grew up. At GCI, we are a very proud sponsor to be a partner of the Iditarod Trail Committee and a longtime sponsor of this race. And we would like to acknowledge that we are all here on the Dena'ina lands, and we respect the past, present, and the future stewardship of the animals, waters, and land. GCI is a technology partner, and for the last 40 years, we've delivered communication technology services to some of the remote communities in Alaska. Many of these communities are checkpoints on the Iditarod Trail. Some of the folks that are here with me tonight at the GCI table are people that have been delivering this connectivity. And John Bittner, he sent me a little note tonight when we were watching the tribute to Susan that we set up trail cameras so that she could watch her dogs race while she was in the hospital. And her dogs were out there without her. But these guys, they are so proud of the work they do. And I always say, GCI, we do some of the work that nobody else could or would ever do. We set up connectivity in the most remotest of places, and we have the most incredible engineers that can set up connectivity when there is absolutely nothing out there. The satellite engineers and people that we have working for us are simply amazing. And over the next 2 to 3 weeks, these rock stars on this team, Kat Gill, she's here with us tonight, John Bittner over there, Bob James couldn't be with us, and then Sean McLenna. They'll all be on the trail to ensure the internet and phone service to checkpoints like Finger Lake, Rainy Pass, Nikolai, McGrath, Ophir, Cripple, Ruby, Galena, Caltag, Unalakleet, Koyukuk, and White Mountain. To do this, they're hauling portable satellite dishes and network gear to each of these locations and setting it up every single time they move. I also want to thank our team, Aaron Morheen, Vince Joseph, and Bob Lincoln, who helped set up the Anchorage headquarters at the Lakefront Hotel. Our IT desktop services team helps configure laptops that will be used in Anchorage and Nome, ensuring end-to-end communications for the Iditarod team. The Iditarod uses these PCs to answer a stream of questions from around the world that come in from the media and the Iditarod website. These are just a few examples of how GCI is committed to supporting the Iditarod and the mushing community through the financial sponsorship, but also through the action and hard work of our folks along the trail. With that, I'd like to give away a pair of iPods and a GCI dry bag to someone in the audience tonight, and to say thank you for your support for this longtime Alaskan tradition. So please look on the back of your program and see if you have a red GCI sticker. And then someone raise your hand, make some noise, let me know where you are. Somebody out there has it. You're looking for the program. It's the little program, and there's a red sticker on the back of one of them. Okay, I see everybody looking. Who's got it? You're looking for, I think you're looking for the little ones, yeah. The little program pieces, not the big program. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody showing up with it tonight. Somebody has it, come find us, and we will make sure you get your little prize pack. So thank you, everybody. Have a great evening, and thank you for your time tonight and your support for the Iditarod.
It's hard to explain Alaska to people from the outside. So we don't. Our job is just to set the stage and let Alaskans speak for themselves. Look out, world. GCI, Alaska's most advanced network.
Thank you so much, Lori. GCI will be presenting the Dorothy G. Page Halfway Award in the Iditarod Checkpoint once again this year, a long-standing tradition that recognizes the mother of the last great race. Well, for those of you who have attended Iditarod banquets in the past, you may be wondering, where the heck are all the mushers? While they are unable to attend tonight's event to ensure a zero community transmission of COVID-19 for the duration of the race, we want to make sure that they are recognized and celebrated as their team of four-legged athletes depart on the northern route of the race. We are going to announce each musher in their official start order, so feel free to clap and cheer for your favorites. This year's race field includes 17 women and 32 men, made up of 13 rookies and 36 veterans. The field comes from 5 different countries, and 6 former Iditarod champions are in the race to compete to cross the World Arch first in Nome. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the mushers of Iditarod 2022.
Sean Williams is back again and will be racing in memory of his mother, Patricia Daniel Williams. Sean withdrew on the eve of the race last year to be by her side in her final days. You may know Sean from the Alaska Mushing School and as another Martin Boozer disciple. We hope Sean has a great race.
A friend actually bet me that we wouldn't come to Alaska, and so I had to make it happen. And then one thing led to another, and 10 or 12 years later, here we are. The thing that actually concerns me most is figuring out enough daycare and people to travel up here to help watch my son while my wife is by herself parenting when I'm gone.
Nick Petit was set to go second, but he's had to withdraw because of a positive COVID test. Nick won't go, but his dogs will. 4-time champion Jeff King has stepped in, and he will now drive this contending team of dogs to Nome.
And back for her 12th Iditarod is Canadian Michelle Phillips. Just missed the top 10 a year ago with an 11th place finish. Has 8 top 20 finishes to her name. A resident of the Yukon Territories in Canada. She grew up an ice skater. You might see her do a triple Lutz on the ice of the Bering Sea. Paige Drobny, the final musher in 2021, will be the 4th musher out, wearing bib number 5 this year, a 19th place finish last year, but 2 top 7 places prior to that. She had never been on a dog team prior to 2006.
Best decision we ever made. I mean, the dogs are happy every day. Like, look at this creature, you know? He's like so much fun. Like every day, these dogs make us smile and laugh, and you feel like, if you wake up in a bad mood, you come outside, and like every dog here is like, this is the greatest day in the world. And so you can't disagree with them, It's like, you're right, this is the greatest day in the world.
Martin Massicati will be next. He's from Quebec, Canada, back for another attempt at the finish line. He did not complete the race in 2020, and he wants to welcome all the racers to the start line and wish them all luck on this journey.
Hi, my name is Martin Muscat from Quebec. I come racing the Iditarod. It's the old dream. Good luck, Halamasher.
He's all in. Jesse Holmes spends his time training his dogs and living out the Denali Highway, a TV star, and a musher committed to knocking on the door of winning. He'll be the 6th musher to leave the line wearing bib number 7. 2 top 10 finishes in 4 attempts at the finish line. He could be a team to watch.
I think it's beautiful to see all the dogs get to be able to be loose because they enjoy it so much. You can see just how much fun they're having. I mean, yeah, they're on a chain on a doghouse, for the night and for part of the day, but every day our dogs get to get off and go do something and have fun and get exercise, and that's very mentally stimulating to the dogs.
One thing you can always count on in this race, Ramey Smith will be in the top 20. His father, one of the originals in this race, Bud Smith. His mother, Lolly Medley, one of the first women to run the race. It's number 25 for Ramey, 12 top 10 finishes, and he's never finished higher than 21st. Bib number 9 will be Anna Barrington, her 10th Iditarod. She finished 24th a year ago. She and her sister Christy have become mainstays in this event as they pile up impressive finishes. Anna has been in the top 25 her last 3 times. Is this the year of Barrington will challenge into that lead pack?
It's hard when you're trying to field 2 teams out of 1 kennel and you want both teams to do the best you can. Like the fact that we broke into the top 20 the other year, like that was awesome and difficult too. So I think that when you try to do that with 2 teams, it gets kind of hard, and you start to spread yourself a little thin. And I kind of been wondering, it's like how good could we really do if we just put it all on one team? You know, put it all on red and bet it all.
Bib number 10, Matthew Failer, a former champion of the Kuskokwim 300 and a multi-time humanitarian award winner in mid-distance races, has set his sights on an Iditarod championship. From the Martin Boozer coaching tree, Matthew will look to better his 21st place finish last year and his best finish of 13th in 2018.
And I'm here with one of our lead dogs, Saga. We're fresh off the Kuskokwim 300, where she placed 2nd. And we're looking to tackle the Iditarod. We'd like to take a moment and thank you for following the race and continue to cheer on your favorite team. We hope that's us. So we'd like to also take a moment and thank our sponsors, Alaskan Husky Adventures, our tour here in Willow, along with our booster club, 17th Dog Boosters, which is the backbone of our kennel. Thank you very much for being a booster. K2 Woodworking, Power Stroke Performance, Dr. Carson's, O'Mackerly Custom Knives, and Wolex, and also out of my home state, Phillips Tube Group. If you'd like to join our pack, please visit our website at akhusky.dog, akhusky.dog. Check us out on the Iditarod, and go Saga.
Mats Pedersen has completed his journey to Alaska from Sweden and will once again look to become an Iditarod champion. This former hockey goalie has 4 top 25 finishes. He's been on the back of a sled for 30 years now.
Hello dog lovers and musher friends, my name is Mats Pedersen. I'm from Sweden and running my 7th Iditarod. I think it's the most for foreign musher outside US, Canada. Today I have with me my friend Ranger. He's Ranger. What makes him special is like he never lose energy, he keep up the spirit all the time in the team. He finished with me 3 times to Nome, the last 2 times in lead. So I want to thank to all everybody volunteers and veterinarians and everybody put the race together. It's an honor to be part of it, and hopefully we're going to have a nice run to Nome, and I wish all my musher friends also happy trails.
A true contender every year and a champion in 2018, your Leifsif Olsson sets his sights on a 2nd Iditarod championship. 2021, a big year for him. He and his wife Margot have welcomed to the world their baby boy, Henrik. There will be another Olsson at home rooting for him this year. This is 10th Iditarod, and he's never finished outside the top 8. And it'll be back-to-back Norwegians at the start line. 22-year-old Hannah Lyric has come to Alaska to achieve the dream of running in this race. Team Norway will be well represented this year with this rising star on the European circuit. She's a team to watch for the Rookie of the Year award. Team number 14 will be 52-year-old Eric Kelly. He was born in New Haven, Connecticut, and now lives in Knik, Alaska. He's part of Daybreak Kennels and bit the bug when he met and helped Jamaican musher Newton Marshall get to the start line. Good luck to Eric. Riley Deich is next. He grew up in the cornfields of Iowa, playing baseball. Today he has his own kennel and is looking to begin his 3rd Iditarod, and his kennel is maturing. Riley has big hopes.
I have a small kennel, but every single dog is running at a high level, and I really like that aspect of the small numbers and building from the ground up. But it's slow, you know. I started in 2015 doing my first breedings, and I'm just now at a point where I have like a pool of 20 dogs that I think are really ready to race Iditarod, and then it's going to take another quite a while to, you know, really be considered a contender.
Iditarod veteran Lev Schwartz is back, one of the great characters in this field. Born in the Ukraine, he owns an electrical engineering degree from Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. Lev will set his hopes of the finish line for a 5th time, coming off his first top 20 finish a year ago. Ryan Reddington, a competitive team year in and year out. He'd love to get to the finish line first and be the first Reddington to own the trophy with his grandfather's name on it. He has 2 top 10 finishes now, with an 8th place finish in 2020 and a 7th place finish in 2021.
There they are, our first group of mushers. Thank you so much, Mr. Heister. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our first live auction opportunity. Please welcome Saltchuk Senior Vice President and General Manager for Alaska, and our live auctioneer for this evening, Mr. Dave Karp. If you want to bid, please raise your hand very high, as Dave and one of our many volunteers with lightsabers will be looking for you. Here is Dave.
Thank you, Dave. How's everybody doing? Hey, this is so great to see everybody. I haven't been in a room with this many people in like 2 years. You too, huh? Hey, so here's the way we're going to do the auction tonight. I'm not one of those traditional auctioneers. I'm going to sell 2 items, and then I'm going to sit down and shut up for a while. I'm going to come back and sell 2 more. It's a very mercifully planned auction, but we have to sell these items to raise money for the race. So if you'll hang with me while I'm doing this really quick, keep your conversation to a minimum, I promise we can make it faster. So here we go. First item on the block should be up on the screen. The 2-night base camp Borealis package, 25 miles outside of Fairbanks. It's on 100 acres of pristine boreal forest. And this place, it's a 2-night stay at the base camp, round-trip transportation from Fairbanks, breakfast and dinner included while on site. This is almost a $2,000 value, and we can sell it for more than that because we're raising money for the Iditarod. So I'm going to go. Here we go. Let's make this quick. Where are my spotters? Can I see your wands if you've got them? See those flashing lights? If you want to bid and I'm not seeing you, go find one of those people with the flashing light. Let's start the bidding out at $500. Who wants to start at $500 on the Boreal Base Camp? Spotters, keep your wands down. You got a bid over there. 500 now. I need 750. Where's 750? I got 750 where? Right here. Great. You don't even need a wand, Karen. Thank you. 750 now, 1,000. Now 1,000. 1,000 in the back. Now 1,250. Now 1,250. Where's 1,250? I got 1,000. Karen, you want to go 1,250? Because that person wants to go. She'll go 1,250. How about 1,500 in the back? 1,500. 1,500 over here. Now 1,750. Now 1,750. Is that 1,750? Okay, yeah, turn the light off if it's not. 1,500 now. Now let's go 1,750. Somebody's got to do it. $1,500 once. $1,500 twice. All in, all done, sold right over there. $1,500. See how quick and painless that was? We are halfway done with the first auction block. Next up, we've got an Arctic oven. I was so excited because I thought, with a room full of dog mushers, this Arctic oven thing is going to be a piece of cake to sell. And then I just found out that dog mushers aren't here. So you're going to need to help me out. These Arctic ovens are awesome. It's an Arctic oven, New Way, double burner propane stove with accessories. It does not get any more comfortable with this in the outdoors. Many of you have these, I'm sure. They're a staple shelter for outdoorsmen and women across the globe. When the Arctic oven comes, the way it comes with the double burner propane stove, which provides an efficient and easy way to stay warm in your Arctic oven tent. Propane stove option is lightweight, easy to assemble, allowing you to get warm in your tent quickly. These are a gem. They're worth a couple $1,000s. Who wants an Arctic oven? Who wants to start me out at $500? There's 500 right there. Now 750. Now 750. I got $500. I need 750. It's over there. 500 still. $500. Somebody give me 750. There, 750 over there, now 1,000. Now 1,000, here's 1,000. 1,000, clap for your bidders, they'll stay it longer. $1,000, now 1,250. Go 1,250 over there. $1,000. You know, more than 2 people can play this game. I've got $1,000, I need $1,250. Well, you go $1,100 for me. I can work harder for the money. We're going to end up in the same place. $1,000 is over a $2,000 value. Sir, I want you to know you can feel free to bid against yourself in my auctions. I've got $1,000. Somebody outbid this guy. $1,000. What's the bid? Is that $1,250, Keith? $1,250 from Keith Montrenock. $1,500 to you, sir. Don't take that from him, Keith. If you go $1,750, I'm pretty sure he'll drop out. I've seen this guy at auctions. $1,750 here, now it's 2 to you, sir, and it's probably yours. $2,000, clap for your bidders. $2,000. Keith, you don't have to take that from him. $2,250 right here. It's 25, sir, and it's yours. I can pretty much, $2,500. Keith, would you go $2,750? $2,500 once. $2,500 twice. Sold. Auction block 1 is done. I'll be back later.
We want to thank all of our live auction donors tonight. A member of our staff will come up to you to fill out some paperwork and get you all the details of your prize. And thank you, David. We'll see you right back up here shortly. Folks, we've got a very important award to hand out tonight. This one is the Honorary Musher Award. The Leonard Seppala, the Norwegian-American musher who played a pivotal role in the 1925 Serum Run to Nome, was honored as the #1 musher from the race's inception through 1979. In 1980, the Iditarod decided to have Wild Bill Shannon share the honor. Since then, the directors have chosen a person or persons, not necessarily mushers, who have made a significant contribution to the sport of sled dog racing. The honorary musher is listed as the first one out of the starting line. Please join us in welcoming Iditarod Board of Directors President, Mr. Mike Mills, who will be presenting this prestigious award.
Thank you, thank you. This is a monumental 50th anniversary race, and it was a very easy choice this year for determining who was going to be the honorary musher. So it's my honor and pleasure to announce Joe Reddington Sr., father of the Iditarod, as the honorary musher for the 2022 Iditarod. The committee didn't have to work too hard on that one. Interestingly, Joe also received the Honorary Musher Award in 1997 when he was 80 years old. So he did enjoy this recognition while he's alive, which was very nice to know. In this 50th year celebration of the Iditarod, there was, like I say, there little difficulty in choosing Joe. And we all miss Joe, his smile, and his nonstop generation of creative ideas. Before I move on and give a little history of Joe, I'd like Barb Reddington, Joe's daughter-in-law, who's here, I believe, with her son, to stand and be recognized. I know Barb was planning on it. Here we are, up here by the front. Grandson, great-grandson, sorry. Yeah, come on up. And then I understand, so one of the benefits of the honorary musher is designating the Iditarider who goes out of the chute in Anchorage with the junior Iditarod champion. And they have chosen Ellen Reddington, who is a great-granddaughter of Joe Reddington, to be the Iditarider. So thank you very much. Joe was born, just a few words about Joe. He was born in Kingfisher, Oklahoma in 1917, moved to Knik, Alaska in 1948 after serving under General MacArthur in the Pacific Theater in World War II. Within a year, he had set up a kennel in Knik, and he worked with the Air Force to rescue people in the winter after plane crashes. And at that time, that was the only way to get into remote areas in the winter. In 1953, he married Violet Reddington, and they moved to Flathorn Lake. In the late 1960s, he recognized that mushing was becoming a lost skill in Alaska due to snow machines. Two ideas came to Joe to revive the sled dog and mushing lifestyle. One, seek recognition of the Iditarod Trail as a national historic trail through the BLM, which he accomplished in 1978. And second, to create a sled dog race from Knik to Iditarod. And I did say Knik, where Joe had originally lived, to the ghost town of Iditarod. Well, one of his friends said, Joe, you can't have a race that goes from nowhere to nowhere. Nobody will support that race. And he said, oh, that's actually a good observation. So they changed the race from Anchorage, a city, to Nome, a city. And here we are today celebrating the 50th anniversary. On Tuesday night, I had the pleasure of attending the Old Timers event to celebrate the 50th anniversary. The Old Timers are a passionate group of founders of the Iditarod, early mushers, Iditarod Trail Committee board members, and the night was a walk down memory lane for all in attendance, and it was really, amazingly, the who's who of Iditarod legends. Literally everybody who had started the race, ran the race, helped with the race, historically was in that room. It was really, really amazing. What was crystal clear in the room was that the love for the mushing lifestyle and the sled dog was alive and well. So Joe had succeeded in that goal. The pride in Alaska was alive in that room. The recognition of the Iditarod qualities of grit and determination were throughout all of the stories, and it was very well recognized that the magic spirit of the Iditarod has captured the imagination of people around the world. One last quality I want to highlight of Joe was he was an idea guy. He wasn't always the implementation guy, and those of you who knew him knew he had an idea about every 10 minutes. Lots of ideas, and some were good, some were not as good, but he was an idea guy and very passionate about it. One of his ideas was the Iditarod baseball cards. Many of you probably remember those, and if you actually have one now, it's probably worth a significant amount of money. I think Joe would be intrigued and proud of the new initiatives that our current CEO, Rob Urbach, is spearheading. And you heard them touched upon earlier today, but the Iditaverse is something you're going to hear more about. We've heard of the metaverse, many people. We've heard of cryptocurrencies. We heard NFTs. Well, Rob is creating the Iditaverse, and next week there'll be an Idita coin, a token that will be launched. Keep a look for that, and please be an early investor in that. And then secondly, the dog streaming channel, which has already been launched. The Doc Dogs has been acquired, an event company, and that'll be rolled in to a streaming channel with Iditarod content and many other contents. So these are some of the ways that Rob is diverting away from the anti-Iditarod people to ensure and future-proof the race so that we can have another 50 years of the Iditarod. As Norman Vaughn has said, dream big and dare to fail. And Rob, just like Joe Reddington, is doing that. So before I finish, I'd like to have the Old Timers, which is the group I mentioned earlier who put on the 50th anniversary. Any of you in the audience who are members of the Old Timers, I would ask you to stand so that we can pay tribute to you. I know Joe would want you all recognized tonight. So please, if you're one of the old-timer group, I know John Norman, some others around, maybe bashful. I think we probably do have a few in the audience, but let's. And in finishing, I would ask, let's raise a glass to Joe Reddington, father of the Iditarod, make a pledge to preserve his vision for another 50 years so we can celebrate the 100th anniversary here in 50 more years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mills. Well, the next principal partner I'd like to introduce is Donlin Gold. In its 13th year of sponsoring the last great race on Earth, Donlin Gold is steadfast in its commitment to create a safe and environmentally responsible mining project that provides opportunities for families in the Yukon-Kuskokwim region to live in healthy and prosperous communities. I'd like to invite to the stage Christina Woolston, the External Affairs Manager for Donlin Gold, to tell us more. Christina.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first acknowledge my team here with me tonight. I have Dan Graham, our General Manager, and Rick Fernandez, our Head of Permitting and Environmental, Stuart, Tracy with our Finance, Meg Smith, Head of HR, and all-around rock star in recruiting. If anybody's looking for employment, we have some job openings at our remote work site. It's a phenomenal place to work and eat. I have to say the chefs are great, and her mom, Connie. But really the reason that we're here tonight is because Calista Corporation, the Alaska Native Corporation in the YK region, invited us to be the partners to develop the gold deposit on their land. It's part of the expression of the self-determination of the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act that was passed 50 years ago. So we celebrate 50 in a lot of ways. It's the golden anniversary. It's also a landmark of many different ways that we see and celebrate the past, but we also look to the future. So I'd like to recognize Miranda Strong and Tanya Woolley with Calista Corporation, and thank you for inviting us into your home to help develop this project. As Dave mentioned, Donlin Gold has been a principal sponsor for over 10 years now. We've also been proud to support Pete Kaiser, who is also on our community relations team, and also Mike Williams Jr. Pete's from Bethel with Kaiser Kennels, and Mike Williams Jr. is from Akiak. So two prominent and amazing racers from the region that we're proud to support each and every year. We would also be lost without the folks that are working on our team but live in the region. So the folks from Red Devil, from Bethel, from Nepaskiak, from Nikolai, from McGrath, Aniak, and then the folks who are from the region that live here in Anchorage, and we just appreciate them so much. Does anyone know, and if you are affiliated with Iditarod, you are not allowed to answer this, who won the first Iditarod in 1973? That's right, Dick Wilmarth. His daughter, Rebecca, is part of our community relations team. And it's the coolest story. There's a recent Facebook post that said, the most classically Alaskan story. A guy who entered a dog sled race who had no dogs, no sled, so he could win a little money and buy some yellow steel to run his gold mine. So we think that that's the spirit of Iditarod. It's the spirit of Alaska. We're proud to be a sponsor. We're looking forward to the race this year. We're so proud to see all of the people here. An incredible job by Iditarod. And we would like to close with a brief video of Pete Kaiser talking about working his team and what it means to participate in the Iditarod year after year.
I'm Pete Kaiser, born and raised in Bethel, Alaska, and I've been running dogs my whole life. Safety is a very important aspect while running a race like the Iditarod, and we actually put more miles in training out alone on the trail during the year than we do during the Iditarod. You got to have the right gear on. You look at the weather forecast, face masks, mittens, parkas, all the same gear every time. We carry stuff like rain gear just in case. It sounds crazy, but we run into some really crazy weather out there. So you really got to be prepared for anything from 50 below to 40 above. My success has been just part of a huge puzzle, and the key to a lot of that has been support from Donlin Gold. So I'm very, very appreciative to Donlin and what they've done for us.
Thank you so much, Christina. We look forward to continuing a long and bright future with Donlin Gold. Before we move on to our next batch of musher introductions in the official start order, we want to remind everyone that we're raising money to ensure the prosperous future of the Iditarod. You've got so many ways to give. You can scan those QR codes to purchase a winter raffle ticket or simply donate to this deserving nonprofit. Stroll on over to the silent auction and check out all of the great items available. I went by the table earlier tonight and spied some Alaska Railroad tickets and that 2-night stay at Salted Roots Cabin in Seward. Or how about that gift basket from Denali Dream Soap Company that was all special products for your dog? We've also got more live auction items coming up, so you won't want to miss that. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the next introduction of mushers in order of the official start order.
The 17th musher wearing bib 18 will be Richie Deal from Antioch, Alaska. He's been in the top 11 his last 3 finishes and appears to have a kennel that is coming into its own. A yearly contender now, and the eyes of the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta will be on Richie, hoping that 2022 is the year he brings the trophy home. Katie Jo Dieter, a rookie, and has watched her husband Jeff compete all these years and is now ready to begin her Iditarod career with her first attempt at Nome. A big part of Black Spruce Kennels, her preparation has been a process, but she sounds ready.
The thing that motivates me about running Iditarod is just seeing something new. I've been training with Jeff for the last 4 or 5 years around here at home on our home trail system, and by now I know all of these trails really well. They're all very doable for me, and so I'm looking forward to Iditarod as a new challenge for myself and for the dogs.
Bib number 20, the 19th team to leave the chute, will be Dallas Seavey. What more do we need to say? No longer a prodigy, but a grizzled, accomplished veteran now, and one of the best to ever do it. In fact, a 6th championship might end the conversation of whether or not he has any rivals in that discussion. Dallas will leave the chute looking to make history. Aaron Peck will follow Dallas, bib 21. From Grand Prairie, Alberta, a 14th place finish last year, he has his sights set on a championship. He's attempted on 8 occasions and is coming off his best finish. The process continues for Aaron. Joe Taylor from Fairbanks, Alaska, is one of 13 rookies in the field. He was born and raised in Fresno, California, and brings his team from his kennel called Mushing Malarkey, which is the nickname of one of his lead dogs, and it reflects his light-hearted approach to this sport.
Hey everyone, this is Joe Taylor. I'm a rookie running the 50th anniversary of Iditarod this year, and I'm here with one of my main leaders, Malarkey. He's the namesake of my kennel and a big goofy boy, and yeah, we're both getting pretty excited to run the race and looking forward to getting out on the trail.
Aaron Burmeister, team number 23, who claims this is his swan song, his final Iditarod, and he wants nothing more than to win this race in his final try. Born and raised in Nome, it'll be his 21st race, with 4 top 5 finishes, including a 2nd place finish in 2021.
This is my main leader, Dudley, and we're going to the 50th anniversary of Iditarod to bring a victory home to Nome this year. Hi, Dudley. Oh, bud. You ready to go home?
Team number 24 will be Christy Barrington. Her 13th Iditarod will begin in Willow and finish 22nd in 2021. She and her sister Anna usually travel together on the trail and have become fan favorites throughout the years. 2010 was Christy's first race.
So in 2018, when I ran with my husband and we did the Iditarod together, Anna got, mostly 18 dogs, 80% of the best ones, and she did really well that year and had, got the opportunity to go out on solo and stuff. So I'm going to take that turn this year. And then next year, Anna gets the A team, which will probably have even more awesome prospects with our 2-year-olds that are going to be mostly on her team.
Deke, another musher from Iowa, will be team number 25. This former park ranger from the Florida Everglades National Park now lives deep in the Arctic and began mushing in 2008. His best dog is Princess Jasmine.
and she'll be leading the way in his second Iditarod. Deke finished 27th in 2020.
Hi, my name is Deke Knockaborn. I'm running the 50th anniversary of the Iditarod. It'll be my second one. This is one of my favorite dogs, Simba. We're getting attacked by some puppies here. But Simba's my biggest dog. He's not a lead dog, but he's always super happy, and he's kind of a powerhouse, and he's kind of acts like a Labrador. And he's big, and he's, yeah.
Yeah, and he's small.
Ana Rodano, bib number 26, started her own kennel in 2018 and has already 2 Iditarod finishes to her credit. It's been a few years since we've seen Ana, a 51st place finish in 2018 and a 35th place finish in 2019. She's back for her 3rd Iditarod. Brent Sass will begin as the 26th musher, and this could be the champion in 2022. This legend of the Yukon Quest has set his sights on a championship in the world's greatest race. He's made it to the finish line 5 times and has been in the lead pack the last 2 races, with a 3rd place finish in 2021. Wild and Free may be going big and bold in 2022.
Well, this litter is a culmination of a whole bunch of stuff. The male, like I said, is my main leader. He's out of Silver, or out of his granddad is Silver, my main dog from years back. I kind of got the kennel started, and so it goes back to those real genetics, and I've mixed in some Jeff King genetics and some Lance Mackey genetics over the years, and so it's all of a combination of all of that, but it all goes back to Silver. And this guy is a Silver son, Merc. He's 13 years old and wandering around, and that was sort of the original idea in the sled dog that I just wanted to make smaller. And so my whole breeding program since Silver has been just make Silver smaller and more athletic build so he'd be better at racing. And that's where these dogs have come from, you know. And the mom is also a 2nd generation Silver dog and has some Jeff King on her side. And so yeah, this breeding is super exciting, and it's from the dogs that I've had real success in the last 4 years.
And we wonder what's in store for Dan Caduce this year. A longtime veteran of the Yukon Quest and the Iditarod came face-to-face with a herd of bison last year in the Alaska range. He still finished in 16th place. He's got bib 28 in 2022.
Hey everybody, Dan Caduce here, back again with my leaders Titan and Phoenix for another Iditarod. You can see them here last year having a lot of fun with the bison. They liked it so much they led me to one of the fastest finishes in the race last year from all the excitement they built up from seeing the bison.
Behind Dan will be another rookie, Julie Onen from Cantwell, Alaska. She grew up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and followed the race in school in the 5th grade. She's worked under Jesse Holmes for 4 years and now sets her sights on her first Iditarod. She is focused on what will be a grand adventure ahead. A grand champion will follow. Mitch Seavey is back in the race after taking a year off. This 3-time winner will look to challenge his son in this, the 50th year of the race. This former wrestler is the son of Dan Seavey, who ran the race in 1973, and looks to become the 8th musher to win this race at least 4 times in a career. Matt Hall, a contender, a champion of the Yukon Quest at 26 years of age. He's now 30 and has a team that's coming into its prime. Out of Two Rivers, Alaska, he will be competing in his 4th Iditarod this year.
You know, some people I think get a little too wrapped up in seconds during a race. You know, for the most part, time stopped on the trail is going to be time made back up. You know, those, if you leave a checkpoint and you stop for 60 seconds and your dogs are rolling around in the snow and relieving themselves and you're going up and you're switching a dog around, that's super fun, that's positive for them, it's healthy, they need that. They're in the snow rolling around, shaking off. So when you're trying to get a little bit more speed, you know, it's not going to hurt you to stop and spend a minute and play with your team, try something new.
Amanda Otto, a rookie, and has been under the tutelage of the legend and 4-time champion Jeff King. Her grandfather, the great Jim Otto, and a Hall of Famer, who played football for the Oakland Raiders. Amanda will be competing for Rookie of the Year honors.
I definitely am very blessed, and I feel a little spoiled to be working here at Husky Homestead. Jeff has been really gracious and such a great mentor to me, and obviously getting to work with his dogs day in and day out has just been the icing on the cake. So this has been kind of a dream come true, really, to be at Husky Homestead. If you had told me that I had been here training under Jeff King, getting ready to sign up for my first Iditarod 5 years ago, I would not have believed you.
Milla Porsild will wear bib number 33. This former Rookie of the Year from Denmark has exploded onto the scene and will be running her third Iditarod this year. A top 5 finish in her second race has a lot of people wondering if she'll be in position to win it in 2022.
I don't walk around thinking, oh, I'm going to win the race next year. But I'm absolutely going to shoot for the moon. And, you know, we may not win it, but hopefully we'll land among the stars. That's always been my motto in life. I walk around literally dreaming of having a team that I put in a position to have performed at the very best possible. And if that means that brings us in first, that's phenomenal.
Jeff Dieter, now 33 years old, and has been climbing the ranks in his 5 Iditarod attempts, a 59th finish as a rookie, and a 12th place finish in 2021. Jeff has become a yearly top 20 contender now and is looking to break into the top 10 for the first time.
Good evening, friends and fans of Iditarod 2022. I am Jeff Dieter, hailing from Fairbanks, Alaska, and out in front of my sled are my 14 athletes for this year's race. I'm pretty excited about these guys. Half of them will be running their 5th Iditarod, so that's a pretty big accomplishment for them. Another 4 members of this team will be running somewhere between their 2nd and 3rd race. And then for a couple members, 2-year-olds, this will be their very first Iditarod. So it's a pretty fun team, got a lot of energy and power, and I'm looking really forward to hit the trail. I hope that you guys are excited about the race and follow our journey. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Heiser. Oh, and go Raiders. Anytime I see the Oakland Raiders, go Raiders. Kenny Stabler era. Hey, if you look in the center of your table, you'll see the lovely centerpieces. Those centerpieces were created by students all over the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, you can take those home. We also have a bunch of them in the lobby, so please feel free to grab one or two as you make your way out the door tonight. Now, we are going to invite back Dave Karp to the stage to introduce the next 2 live auction items. Dave's, come on up.
Okay, I was honest with you about the first round. It's quick if we all pay attention. Now, what I want to do on the second round, again, we have 2 items, but I'm going to introduce to you item number 4 because it's a big ticket item and I want you to have time to think about it. I want you to have time to talk amongst yourselves. I don't want any, marital issues tonight because somebody bid when somebody else didn't want them to bid and vice versa. And then I'm going to sell package number 3, and then I'm going to go back and sell package number 4. So I'm going to introduce you to package number 4 real quick. This is pay attention, a 15-day, 14-night epic coastal Alaska expedition with Lindblad Expeditions aboard the National Geographic Orion 4-2. Now listen carefully. This package has a retail value of almost $45,000. We do have a reserve on it. Lindblad Expeditions is the pinnacle of small ship cruising in Alaska. In fact, it was awarded the #1 small ship cruise line by the 2021 Condé Nast Travelers Reader's Choice Awards. Experience the unforgettable coastline of Alaska aboard the Orion on this 15-day cruise that sails among the temperate rainforests and wildlife-rich waters of coastal British Columbia and explores the fjords, rural communities, and wildlife Alaska inside Alaska's Inside Passage. Enter Yakutat and Disenchantment Bays up to the face of 7-mile-wide Hubbard Glacier and spend a day within Prince William Sound, known for its spectacular mountains, Oh, and we have a video, so I don't even have to do all this. Please turn your attention to the video.
Alaska is immense. It's got its silence and moments where you can just be out in nature and experience it all.
There it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
You come out to look for one thing, and something surprises you.
That was wild.
Wilderness with a capital W.
This is just beyond belief, you know. This is the way to get outside again.
All right, didn't I do a great job of describing that? 100% accurate. That's what happens when you don't show up for dress rehearsal. So I'm sorry, I had a busy day, Chaz and Rob. I was here late. So that's auction item number 4. Now, while you're thinking about that, getting online, checking your bank balances, we're going to move to auction item number 3. What I don't know, the mystery is, there is no video. So I'm going to describe to you auction item package number 3, which is the Within the Wild Adventure Lodges package. 2 nights, mountainside package for 2 at Winter Lake Lodge. This is an Alaska institution, a beautiful, iconic lodge. Doesn't get more Alaskan or more luxurious than this package from Within the Wild at Winter Lake Lodge. Located 1 hour northwest of Anchorage by Small Plain. Lodge serves as a Finger Lake checkpoint on the Iditarod Trail. And this is a mountainside package for 2 people for summer 2022 or winter 2023. It includes a 2-night stay at Winter Lake Lodge and meals, accommodations, and lodge-based activities. The lodge features incredible Michelin caliber cuisine, house wine and beer, 1 50-minute massage, daily stretch classes, evening hors d'oeuvres, wine tasting, cooking class, wood-fired sauna, hot tub, and guided outdoor activities. Who doesn't want to do that? Everybody wants to do that. So I'm going to start the bidding on this incredible package. It has a value of almost $10,000, so let's be merciful on each other, and somebody give me a $3,000 opening bid, because you know it's going to go for more than that. Spotters, just turn those lights on when you find somebody. Who wants it? I got 3. Is that a bid? That's a practice. Nice, thank you. Big hand for our practice spotter. All right. Who wants to give me a $1,500 bid on the Winter Lake Lodge package? $1,500. Somebody jump in. Somebody, there it is right there. See, it's a good thing you practiced. $1,500, now $2,000 in the back. Would you go $2,000? Encourage your bidder. There's $2,000. I see a hand up. $2,000 now. $2,500. Where's $2,500? There she is. Thank you, Karen. $2,500 now. 3. 3 in the back. How come I only have 2 bidders in all these things? $2,500. $2,500 in the back. $2,500 now. 3. Did I do that right? $2,500 now. 3,000. Would you go 3, Karen? Sure. What the heck? 3,000. 3,000 now. 3,500. Let's go 3,500 over here. Just wave it up. It's just another $500. 3,000, I need 35. Boy, I'm tired. What am I on over here, Karen? I'm what? 3,000, that's what I thought. 3,000, now 3,500. 3,000, somebody give me $3,500. I'm at a third of the value here. $3,000, somebody give me $3,250. Where's that other bidder at? It's over there somewhere, I can see you. Go $3,250, she'll go 35. I promise, sorta. $3,000 once for this $9,000 package. $3,000 twice. All in, all done. Bargain of the night, sold, $3,000. Karen, that is your reward for being such a good bidder. All right, so now We're going to see what we can do with this National Geographic cruise. I'll remind you, it does have a reserve on it. I will let you know when we get to the reserve, if we get to the reserve. And I hope we go above the reserve, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Again, it's for 2 people, has a high retail value of almost $45,000. So let's just get it out of the way. Who wants to give me 45 grand? No? $45,000? Oh. Wow, that's good. It's a $4,500 opening bid? I'll take it. $4,500 right there. Clap for that bidder. That's a start. $4,500. Who wants to go $9,000? Anybody want to go $9,000? I got one $4,500 bid. This is not a good time to scratch your head, sir. Is that a $9,000 bid? No. $4,500. I need $9,000. I'm not near the reserve yet. I've got $4,500. I can't sell it for $4,500. But I do need a bigger number. Is that a $9,000 bid right there? $9,000. Thank you, ma'am. Clap for that bidder. How did we end up in this $4,500 increment? Would you go 15? Yes? No? Yes, she'll go $15,000. Clap for that bidder. $15,000. Would you go 20? We will, you know what? This crowd will go $20,000 right there. Excuse me 1 second. This is where it gets kind of up close and personal. Let's get back on my portable stage here. I've got, wait, what's your name, ma'am? Lisa over here. And your name, ma'am? Not important. All right. We have Lisa at $20,000, and very important to me, 22.5? Would you go 22.5? Okay. I got $20,000. $20,000. Anyone want to top that $20,000 bid? $20,000. Big secret. The reserve is off. That's a good bid. Lisa's going to get this unless somebody outbids her. 25? $22,000 from this fine gentleman over here. It's very kind of you guys to be so in the center like this, because I don't have to run all the way over. How you guys doing? You want a bid? $22,000. And your name, sir? Bill and Lisa. $22,000 to Bill. Would you go 24, Lisa? Clap for Lisa. She needs encouragement. 22. Would you go 24? Lisa will go 25 if she gets to meet Greg Heister. I can promise you that. I will write that check. $25,000 here. Bill, would you go 27? Yes? Bill's going to go 27. Would you go? Lisa, would you go 30 if I could get you an introduction to like Aaron Burmeister too? Okay, you consult. Don't worry about me. I'll just stand over here. I've got 27 to Bill. Hi, Tekla. Can I just tell you real quick? I actually teared up a little bit when you were talking. You know why? I've been around, believe it or not, all 50 years of the Iditarod. I grew up in Nome, and when I was a kid, your mom was my hero. and in the 4th grade, I don't know if it's still laying around the house, but is there a sealskin crown laying around that says Iditarod? Right here. That was my art class. Yeah. Super cool. How'd we do? What are we doing? $30,000 to Lisa. I love it. You know, it's worth it. It's worth a little investment of time. $30,000, would you go? Bill's out? Bill, Lisa, going once. We're going on a cruise. We're meeting Greg Heister. We're meeting Aaron Burmeister, and as a bonus for Lisa, if you all could line up after the banquet and introduce yourself to Lisa. Where are you from, Lisa? Lisa from Cedar Woolley, Washington. Going once, going twice, sold $30,000. Nice job. And we'll be back.
Thank you so much for your generosity tonight. And an Iditarod staff member will be over to gather your information. And again, thank you for supporting the last great race on Earth. Refill your drinks, folks, and place those bids. We are close to the end of the evening, but we still have some more exciting things to share, including a priceless live auction item that will sure to make lasting memories. We're now going to give a warm welcome to the race's newest principal partner, Hillcore Alaska and Harvest Midstream. Both entities pride themselves on being innovative and hardworking, and the Iditarod is so honored to be partnering with these two similar-minded organizations. Hillcore and Harvest Midstream are not only committed to the Alaskan way of life, but also committed to their employee-centric cultures. Please give a warm welcome to Hillcore Alaska Senior Vice President Luke Saget. Welcome, Luke.
That was kind of exciting bidding. Actually made me nervous just sitting nearby. Okay, well, I'm Luke Saget, Senior Vice President for Hillcore Alaska. I'm going to start out by saying that we are really excited and proud of our partnership with the Iditarod. It's a rich and important Alaskan tradition in its 50th year. We're also really proud to have one of our Hillcorp employees running in the Iditarod. You'll hear from him later this evening. So we know how important the Iditarod is to Alaskans, and we're proud to be a part of it. From Anchorage to Unalakleet to Nome, Alaskans from communities across the state feel the positive impact of the Iditarod. So brief background of Hillcorp and Harvest. We have been in Alaska since 2012 in the Cook Inlet. We purchased 50% of the Milne Point oil field in 2014, and most recently, in 2020, we acquired all of BP Alaska's assets, including Prudhoe Bay. We are the largest oil and gas operator in the state. We have major operations in Cook Inlet and on the North Slope. And we're also very proud to have 1,500 employees here in the state of Alaska. And we indirectly support several thousand more contractor jobs. So a critical part of our mission is to support the communities and positively impact the communities in which we operate. Our Iditarod sponsorship is an important part of that, and we're very proud of the impact our employees have on the communities in which they live across Alaska. We work closely with the Alaska Community Foundation and with the Hillcorp Giving Fund, and we're all pretty excited about the recently announced $25,000 per employee that our employees will have the opportunity to give away in support of charitable organizations in their local communities. We recently auctioned off the Iditarod spot that we got with the sponsorship, auctioned it to our employees, and we're proud to report that we raised $5,300 for the August Foundation, an organization that provides, so maybe you know what the August Foundation is, provides veterinary care and homes to the retired dogs. So we're especially proud to be part of such a great tradition as the Iditarod. We feel like the Iditarod represents the indomitable spirit of Alaska, and we are looking forward to sponsoring the Iditarod for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luke, and thank you to Hillcorp Alaska and Harvest Midstream, and we welcome you to the Iditarod family. We are now down to the final introduction of mushers in their official starting order, so let's see who we get to look forward to making the 1,000-mile journey to Nome.
Ryan Olson, bib number 35, was raised in Durango, Colorado. When she moved to Alaska, she went to work for Allie Zirkle and Alan Moore. This veteran of the quest is now a 3-time finisher of the Iditarod and is coming off her best finish of 18th in 2021. And she's not all about dogs.
These guys are like our pets, so we go packing and hiking with them. And then I don't know if we'll ever be as good as sled dogs when it comes to like actually pulling sleighs, but the novelty of it is pretty cool. And so we're training them to pull sleighs, and we use them in tourism, so kind of as a way to teach people about caribou. So they're not the same as caribou, they're different subspecies.
Up next is rookie Bridget Watkins. She is the daughter and stepdaughter of Alan Moore and Allie Zirkle. SP Kennel will be represented in 2022. Bridget is continuing her career as an emergency room nurse and has her own kennel now and is married with 2 children, who undoubtedly will be under that arch when she arrives in Nome.
Hey, I'm Bridget Watkins. I live here just south of Fairbanks. I live in Salcha, grew up in Fairbanks. And I'm running my first rookie Iditarod this year with this little gal in lead. This is Raz, she'll be my main leader. And I'm very excited to celebrate this year. As are most, we have all come a long ways to get here, and just leaving the starting line is gonna be a huge celebration for me. So I can't wait to get out on the trail and have lots more stories to tell at the end.
Pete Kaiser will wear bib number 37, and he's a threat to win. He's been dominating this race in Bethel this winter, and it's obvious he's got a fast team. And with his experience, he will undoubtedly be at the front. Pete has 11 finishes, 6 top 10 finishes, and of course a championship in 2019. Pete chasing number 2. Following him will be the incomparable Martin Boozer, 4 times a champion. This is 39th Iditarod. He's never scratched. 39 races, 39 finishes, and 19 top 10s. And his wife, Kathy, has been there every step of the way.
Unspoken, behind the scenes, more than 100% committed and more than 50% responsible for the success. And every time I make an appearance, every time I talk about success or planning, you cannot overlook your partner. And she chooses to be behind the scenes more often than not. But if you don't have somebody you can fully trust and work together with, it's not so much fun. It's a different journey. We have accomplished so much together, and now we try to enjoy so much together.
Gerhard Thwart will be behind Martin Boozer to begin, wearing bib number 39, born and raised in South Africa, served in their military. He came to the U.S. in 2010 and calls Sheboygan, Michigan home, and is racing out of the CV Kennel. As to why? Well, he's racing to promote, support, and bring awareness to the needs of veterans. Karen Hendrickson, this one-time volunteer, will wear bib number 40. She moved to Alaska in 2003. And by 2008, she was signed up to race in the granddaddy of them all. Karen is out to reach Nome for a 7th time. Kaylin Davis is next, a rookie from Fairbanks, Alaska. And although race contender Wade Marge is not in the race this year, his dogs will be, as Kaylin will be running a team owned by Wade and his wife Sophie from Stump Jumpin' Kennels. Bib number 42 is Travis Beals from Seward, Alaska. He's been preparing for this race since he was a kid. Travis continues to live the dream and hopes to put his name on the Joe Reddington Trophy.
That starts to play the biggest role in doing well, is in really enjoying yourself and having fun, because it relays to the dogs and it's not a job to them. They really do pick up on this super enjoyable thing, and you kind of see a higher caliber performance from a team that's just super amped and having fun.
Lisbeth Norris is back in the Iditarod after taking 5 years off. She continues to run her family's bloodlines and will honor that history in the 50th race. Her line of dogs are called the Anadir Siberian, and she hopes to continue this many-decade focus on this breed by the Norris family.
I'm here with my lead dog, Christina. Together with my partner, Nils, our daughter, Story, my parents, JP Norris and Kari Skogan, we run Alaskan Kennels, which is the oldest Siberian Husky kennel in the world. It's been 5 years since my last Iditarod, In the years since, I've been working on building up my business, Arctic Dog Adventure Company, overnight multi-day guiding company. And I am excited to be in a position to join the 50th running of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race.
Sebastian is another rookie from France. He started his kennel with sheltered dogs, and he says they are not the strongest nor the greatest, but they are his family and they are his friends. Sebastian will be wearing bib number 44. Josh McNeil of Fairbanks had so much fun in 2020 that he's back for another ride. A 28th place finish as a rookie, and now he's back to travel the entire trail, the northern route anyway. Born in the shadow of Mount St. Helens in Washington, Josh hopes to blow the top off this race in 2022. Like Josh, Chad Stoddard had so much fun, he's back in the race. The 2021 Rookie of the Year is running a second team for Dallas Seavey. Chad grew up in Washington State and was an all-state basketball player, but his life has been all about the dog since graduating from Western Washington.
All right, this is Wilbur. Wilbur's a 3-year-old male from Dallas Seavey Racing Kennel. He did a few mid-distance races last winter with Letty and Elliot, who worked here with Dallas for several years. He'll be a rookie to the Iditarod this year, and he's a great lead dog and quite the cuddler.
After a few years away from the race, Apayak Ratan will be back on the trail. She finished the race in 2019 in 28th place. The daughter of Iditarod veteran Qrill Ratan. She grew up working in her father's tour business, guiding tourists on the trip of a lifetime to see polar bears near her home in Kaktovik, Alaska. She hopes this will be a trip of her lifetime. Rookie Matt Paveglio will wear bib number 48, a native of Michigan. He now spends his days taking care of patients who've had their best years stolen by illness. And by training sled dogs, of course. Matt will be the 13th and final rookie on the trail in 2022. Born and raised in Japan, she now lives in Healy, Alaska. She's completed the Yukon Quest and finished in 55th place in the Iditarod in 2015. Yuka is back for another shot at the Iditarod Trail. And wearing bib number 50, and our final musher on the trail is Hugh Neff. He began mushing in 1995. He's finished the race 13 times with 2 top 10 finishes. He will be running Jim Lanier's team from White Dog Kennels. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our mushing field for the 2022 Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race.
Thank you so much, Greg. What a legendary field of mushers to watch in this 50th anniversary running. Let's wish all of our mushers well on the trail to Nome. These teams deserve our support. One last round of applause, if you will, for all of the mushers and their dog teams. Our final live auction items are something that only a small number of people have ever experienced. Dave Clark, come on back up here, my friend, and let's get into our final live auction items for the evening.
Thank you, Dave. It's the last time you have to put up with me tonight, but I got some good stuff for you. So you may have heard that we're going to auction off something really special, but what you might not have heard is that we're going to do it 3 times. And each item is going to be equally special because we have 3 Iditarod baskets. We have perennial, I better get these names right here. I want to make sure I don't promise somebody something that I can't sell them. We have perennial contender Ramey Smith. We have mushing royalty Ryan Reddington. And we have multiple champ and also mushing royalty Mitch Seavey. So I've got those 3 Iditarod baskets to auction off tonight. And I'm going to do them in order. And going out of the chute in the 8th position, according to my statistics, which may be completely wrong, but if I was paying attention correctly, according to what I wrote on my hand here, Ramey Smith is number 8, which means you only have to wait 16 minutes. Is that right? Before you get in the sled. And you'll ride down 4th Avenue, take a sharp right, go down the hill. You'll go all the way out to, I believe, Campbell Airstrip, right? BLM. It's a hell of a ride. It doesn't matter where you end up. You're going to have fun. So I'm going to auction off all 3 of them, one at a time, but I'm going to go fast because I know we all want to go home. We got big resting up to do for Saturday. So I'm going to start musher number 8, Ramey Smith. I want to start the bidding out for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Buy it for your best friend that's not here tonight and surprise them. Who wants to give me a $500 opening bid for Ramey Smith? $500. All you got to do is, there it is, way in the back there. There's $500. So you'd go $750, would you? Yes, he'll go $750. Now I need $1,000 to you over there. It's your turn. Is that $1,000? There's $1,000. Clap for these bidders. Now $1,250. $1,250 to you, sir. I've got $1,000. I need $1,250. This is still cheap. Shout out if we can't see you. I've got $1,000. Somebody go $1,250. $1,000 going once for musher number 8. $1,250. Clap. It's an auction. $1,250. $1,250. Now $1,500. Now $1,500. Is that $1,500? Go ahead. Just tell her to turn the flashlight back on and we get $1,500. $1,500 right here. Thank you, sir. $2,000. Who's that? Thank you. I'm sorry I can't see because of the light. $2,000 to this fine shadow right there. There he is. Thank you very much. $2,000. Who wants to go $2,250? $2,000 once. $2,000 twice. All in, all done, sold. Musher number 8. Yeah. Okay, next one up. Musher number 17. Ryan Reddington. Reddington Royalty. Whew, this is fun, isn't it? And we're almost done. So help me go fast here. Let's go ahead and start it out at $1,000. It's a Reddington. There's $1,000 right there. Clap for the bidder. $1,000, now $1,250. $1,250 in the back, yes? Wave your wand if it's a good one. $1,250, thank you, now $1,500. $1,500 over here, now $1,750. Go ahead, say yes. $1,750 back there. Go like this if it's good. I got $1,500, I need $1,750. $1,500 over here. One of you wave back and forth like this if it's good for $1,750. Oh, heck with it, I'm coming down there. Okay, here we go. What? I know I'm old. I've been around Iditarod for 50 years. I got $1,500, I need 17. Put those 2 lights off. There you go. Now, does anybody want to bid $1,750 over here? If you do, turn your light on. This is what I get for missing dress rehearsal. $1,500 over here once. There's $1,750 over here. $1,750 now. $2,000 to this table. Are you good for $2,000? Yes. $2,000. Whew. They said you're going to drop out. So you're out now. Are you going to go $2,250? Put the light down for a second. There you go. Are you good for $2,250? $2,000 once. $2,000 twice for mushing royalty. Woo! $2,250. 22. All the action's over here now. $2,250. It's these 2 tables right here. Because you're 2,000, right? I got $2,250 here. Would you like to go 25? It's easier to say sure than to go nah. I got $2,250 right here. $2,250 once. $2,500 to this fine lady right here. Woo! Ma'am, you should heard of what she should have heard what she just said about you. No, she didn't. She said she's a lovely person, and I'll bet you go $2,750. Would you go $2,750? Oh, she's a poor school teacher. $2,500 once. $2,500 twice. All in, all done, sold. $2,500. Congratulations. One more to go. My good friend Lori said I should use the stairs and quit jumping off the stage. Apparently they don't have good workers' comp insurance here. They don't know what I'm getting paid for this. Last item, Mitch Seavey. Musher number 3030. If I do a good job with this, Rob will give me my job and renew my contract for next year. And he's promised to double my salary. So help me out. How many times again has Mitch won this race? Like 6, 8, 10, 12? 3. Okay. I was building it up. 3-time winner, perennial contender, and just one hell of a nice guy. What's that? 10,000? Oh, it had a 1 and a 0 in it, just not the other 0. $1,000 opening bid right there. Who wants to go $1,500? What's that light in the back? $1,500 in the back now, $2,000 to you. Oh, it's the poor school teacher at $2,000. She is holding out. So now over here, it's $2,500 to this side of the room. Wave your wand back and forth if you're good for $2,500. No. There's $2,500. $2,500 now. It's 3. You should have bid $2,500. $2,500 there now. 3 over there. Just go like this if it's good. Otherwise, put it down. Okay, $2,500 now. 3. There's 3 right over there. 3 now. $3,500. $3,000 once. Is that the poor school teacher? All the way from West Virginia. $3,000 once. $3,500 in the back, or are you just saying hi? Is that a bid? Yeah, turn that light on. There you go. $3,500. $32,500. Oh, I didn't even know I was looking for that bid. Okay, $32,500. Would you go $35,000, West Virginia? Yeah, it's $35,000 to you, ma'am, and then we all get to go home. No, you have to go $35,000. Okay, $33,000. $33,000. Now it's $35,000 to you, and you got to go $35,000 because these people will kill me if I start. $3,500 now. Who wants to go $4,000? $3,500. Who's going to go $4,000? That's $35,000, right? $3,500 now. I need $4,000. $3,500 once. $3,500 twice. All in, all done. Musher number 30, Mitch Seavey, 3-time winner, sold. Congratulations, you guys. Good job. I'm sorry, West Virginia.
Well, I can tell you it's going to be an exciting and unforgettable memory to be made with such mushing legends. Congratulations to all of tonight's live auction winners. Folks, that's a wrap. We want to thank you for spending your evening with us as we celebrate the mushers who are competing in the 50th running of the Iditarod. We encourage you to become an Iditarod insider. When you become an insider, you get the very best live coverage of the race, and your contribution helps our mushers, our sled dogs, and the greatest volunteer force on the planet to make it all happen. For those who are lucky winners of a silent auction item, checkout is at the table next to the silent auction along the wall of the windows. We look forward to seeing you downtown this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. for the ceremonial start of Iditarod 50. I'll be your announcer there. Or join us Sunday, March 6th, the next day in Willow, for the official restart at 2 p.m. Please drive safely and have a wonderful night. For now, I'm Dave Stroh. Good night.